Hi, welcome back to the show. Well, we have about, I think, 15 more minutes and we'll get the pre-opening rates on the screen. Let's get Ajay Bodke of Prabhudas, Lilladher into our conversation. And in a bit, we'll get some technical guests as well. Hi, Ajay. Good morning and Happy New Year to you. If you had to, pick out 2 or 3 large cap stocks for investors to buy now, at this point in time, since we're starting the new year, according to the Hindu calendar, what are the top picks that you're recommending to your investors now?
I think, wish you a Happy New Year. Among the large cap stocks, I think I would look at HDFC Bank, Maruti Suzuki, and in the FMCG space, Britannia as the top picks for the current Samvat. Okay. Essentially, we are looking at an environment in which interest rates, hopefully, I think in the next couple of, next 3 to 6 months, should come off. We're already seeing a good amount of traction in case of the auto numbers. And we believe that Maruti is ideally placed to take advantage of the improvement in demand, both on the urban as well as in the rural side. I think Maruti Suzuki should, in our view, form part of core portfolio for investors. It is, I think if you look at the numbers, I think we are penciling in roughly 15% growth in revenues for this year, followed by a stronger 19% growth in revenues for FY16 for Maruti. And it should result in a very robust earnings growth of roughly 29% in the current year, followed by around 33% in next financial year. I think the company's ROEs, although they look depressed, that's essentially because of the large cash hoard the company is having, an ROE of around 15-16%, including the large cash hoard, as I mentioned, the company has. And I think the company offers a very good opportunity. HDFC Bank has been an underperformer over the last few months, essentially because of the overhang of the FIP. But I think our view internally is that it's a matter of time before the FIP clears the proposal, and with an expected announcement of a QIP, there would be sort of enough headroom for foreigners to increase stake in the bank. The company has posted very good numbers. In fact, if you look at the current earnings season, among the few stocks that have done better than market expectations, I think HDFC Bank is right there at the top. So there, I think, we are expecting a good 15% upside in the short to medium term in HDFC Bank. And among the other stocks in FMCG space, I think Britannia Industries is what we are urging investors to look at with a medium term perspective. There are positive tailwinds that the company has in terms of lower commodity prices, the main inputs that go into the company's main products, be it wheat or milk or oil. And hence, I think we are expecting that stock, I think, also to do well, penciling in a very strong 15 to 16% CAGR in revenues for the current year and the next financial year, resulting in 24% growth in EPS this year, and also very strong 29% EPS growth in next financial year. So I think these 3 stocks I would recommend in large cap space.
Okay, well, among the mid caps as well, we saw some fairly sterling numbers. What are you watching? I mean, can we start with Kansai and Nerolac? Those numbers look fairly impressive. Yeah,
unfortunately, Lata, we do not cover Kansai and Nerolac, so it won't be right. But I'll talk about a couple of stocks that we are recommending investors in mid cap space. KPIT, which posted stellar numbers. I think if you were to pick out one stock in IT space, which has outperformed analyst expectations handsomely in the current earnings season, I think KPIT would figure out there. And we've been recommending the stock to investors with a medium-term perspective. We are looking at 220 as the target price. In fact, we have upped the target price from 200 for the earnings numbers to 220. And we are expecting a 30% upside from the current price in the medium term there. Essentially, we are looking at a very strong performance, around 15% growth in top line CAGR. And a very strong 24% growth in earnings in next financial year. Ashoka Buildcon in the road construction space, the company has a very strong order book of 4,000 crores. We expect it to double over 24 months. And the third in the mid-cap space is JK Lakshmi Cement, where we're expecting a very strong volume build-up to happen in this year and next financial year, resulting in strong earnings growth.
All right, Ajay, stay on with us. I have a couple of more mid-cap and large-cap questions for you, especially Wipro after the numbers disappointed. But let me also welcome Hemant Thakral of Aditya Birla Money into this discussion. Hemant, good morning. Happy New Year to you yet again. What's the strategy on the Nifty today?
Yeah, good morning, Lata. Happy New Year to all, you and all your viewers also. I think Nifty now remains in a bullish zone till it stays above 7950. But if you are looking for next 3-4 trading sessions, because now we are entering expiry, and I think very importantly it's to note that how the rollovers have progressed till now. Rollovers are very well below average. Reasons are very clear because last 2 days virtually we had no trade. So now the rollovers will start to pick up. So some volatility will creep up. So for next 4 days, I would like to recommend that if you are holding long positions and Nifty does goes up and tests 8050, 8080 zone, then one should book out Nifty longs there and try to re-enter around 7988,000 zone, because I'm expecting some profit taking to come in from 8080 zones. Having said that, please go, I'm not recommending anybody to go short. I'm just saying that maybe now there's a time that rollovers will pick up and you will see some expiry pressures from the higher side of the range. So for me, till expiry, the range remains at 7950 to 8080 on the upside, and around 8080 if Nifty reaches, I would definitely recommend to book profits and re-enter only at lower levels, not at higher levels.
Okay, so 8080 is the level that we'll watch for on the upside. Hemant, hi, morning. You have a couple of strategies for us. Ashok Leyland is one stock that everyone has been talking about, the kind of, surge that Ashok Leyland has seen in the last 2-3 weeks. You would buy it today?
Yes, Sonia. Sonia, in fact, I would say autos have been doing fairly well again. They have been showing buying interest at every lower levels. And Ashok Leyland, especially because of two reasons. One, obviously, technically, like you said, everybody would be talking because the stock has now clearly crossed and sustained above 45 levels. Secondly, the way the open interest is being added up already and the way the rollovers are going up. Basically, the rollovers are happening at a much higher cost than the average already. So what I see here is that if it doesn't break 44.50 on the downside, I think there is some more room on the upside left towards that 47, 47.5 zone. So definitely I think Ashok Leyland qualifies one of the good trading stocks in auto. But overall, as I said, auto pack, especially the two-wheelers also, are looking quite strong.
Okay, Ajay, back to you. A word on the IT majors, especially Wipro. Would you persist with it, or is there now disappointment? What are PL's buys in that space?
I think the IT space numbers have been a tad disappointing, with the sole exception, as I mentioned, of KPIT and the smaller pack. If you look at the numbers of TCS, HCL Technologies and Wipro, I think all three of them have posted numbers which have been below the analyst expectations. Albeit, I think some of them have said that going forward, they're expecting a slight improvement in the numbers. I think we would be sticking here to Infosys as among our top buys. I think the hope that has been generated with the new CEO and the plans that he has laid out to up the both earnings as well as the revenue growth in the medium term, the 24-month perspective, I think makes us believe that Infosys offers a good entry point. So I think I would stick with Infosys and the large cap space. And on declines, I would be looking at Wipro. Although Wipro numbers, I think optically appear to be disappointing in the current quarter. But the valuations is trading at 14 times 1 year forward earnings, FY16 earnings. And we are penciling in roughly around 12.5 to 13% growth in earnings for FY15-16 on the back of around 10 to 11% growth in top line. So we believe that I think from the valuation perspective, any drop in Wipro should be utilized as an entry point with a medium-term perspective.
Okay. Do you expect L&T to hit that, that high of around 1700, 1750 that it saw a couple of months ago? Ajay, is that a stock that you would be buying now?
Yeah, I think I forgot, in fact, the three stocks that you asked me among the top picks in large cap space. I think if I were to just expand that and look at top four, then I think, L&T certainly, I think, would figure among the top buys with a 1 year perspective. After touching that high, I think the stock has corrected a wee bit, and we believe that it offers a good entry opportunity. The expectation is that I think the engineering, the construction space, I think should start seeing aggregate demand picking up as the government has sort of unleashed a slew of reforms over the last 2 weeks. And our interaction with capital goods companies, what we are seeing across the board is that the inquiries have improved tremendously, but the conversion of those inquiries into actual orders on ground is happening at a measured or a calibrated space. And the expectation that I am getting when I talk to them is that by the end of third quarter of the current financial year, they are expecting that the conversion should start happening into actual aggregate demand. And that, I think, should perk up interest again in stocks like Cummins, Thermax, Larsen and Toubro, and to an extent also in case of Crompton Greaves. So I think this entire pack of led by Larsen and Toubro, and having Cummins, Thermax and Crompton should be looked as part of the core portfolio for engineering, capital goods and construction space.
All right, gentlemen, we have to take a break. When we come back, it will be time for the pre-opening rates, and of course we will have more questions for both of you. Back in a minute.
मॉर्निंग कॉल ब्रॉट टू यू बाय इंटरग्लोब। नई रोशनी, नया विश्वास। पीसीजे, नए जमाने के हीरे। हैलोनिक्स, द राइट लाइट। तोशिबा, ह्यूमन स्मार्ट कम्युनिटी बाय लाइफनोलॉजी। एंड इंडसइंड बैंक, आपने चाहा हमने किया।
कभी अनकहे कुछ ख्वाब हैं, कहीं थम गए।
मैनेजर साहब, ठीक है?
उन्हें बुन के फिर थोड़ा चुन के फिर चलो। जो लोग दुनिया देख चुके हैं, क्यों ना उन्हीं से नई दुनिया शुरू करें। वैगनआर फॉर द स्मार्टर रेस।
Closing bell is like directly dialing into the CNBC TV18 newsroom.
Well, my job is fairly simple. I talk about 6 stocks that tell the story of the day in 60 seconds.
So let's spot the market internals, the derivatives market, and tell you where the market is going to close today.
And another day that mid-caps outperform.
To benefit in trade tomorrow.
I give you a check on how the rupee and the bond markets fare every day.
I'll bring you the real pulse within the dealing room.
We bring you trading ideas and insights for tomorrow.
Welcome, I'm Senthil Changuvaran.
And I'm Menaka Doshi. 60 minutes to the end of trade.
Closing bell brought to you by Tradewala, PCJ, Sony Bravia, and Muthoot Finance Consumer Loan.
This is TV18 and you're watching CNBC TV18.
Open Exchange brought to you by Samsung Curved UHD TV. Surround your senses.
Hi, welcome back to the show. Well, we have been in conversation with Ajay Bodke of Prabhudas, Lilladher and Hemant Tukral of Aditya Birla Money. They've been giving us a slew of stocks that you should be buying in trade today, considering that the momentum of the market is extremely strong. Hemant, you've picked out one pharma stock for us, Divi's Labs. How is that looking on the chart?
Yes, Sonia. In fact, I've just picked it up as a trading pick, primarily because of the open interest that I saw adding both on Muhurat day as well as previous day. And importantly, technically also the stock now is trading above 1800. So it's broken the previous resistance band which it was facing around that 1810. So now one can go ahead and buy Divi's Lab with a stop loss of 1775, 1780, which will now act as a very strong support. and I expect now Divi's Lab to not only cross the previous 52-week high of 1825, I am expecting it to go surpass that and retest 1870, 1880 zones. So that would be the immediate trading targets that I am looking for. So among the mid-cap pharma stocks, I think Divi's Lab has started showing signs of buying returning back, and clearly it's a good trading buy call on the upside for next 2 to 3 trading sessions.
Okay, actually, I more importantly wanted your levels on the bank Nifty. It has led the Nifty in the past couple of weeks. Hemant.
See, Lata, for me now Bank Nifty has outperformed, and now it's reaching a zone like Nifty. I expect Bank Nifty to see some profit taking coming from 16,600 spot levels. I am not expecting it to cross 16,600 in a hurry. In fact, I feel that before expiry we may even retest 16,200. So if I am long on Bank Nifty or banking stocks, I would definitely book profit with another 100 points rise from here and wait for lower levels to re-enter. Please, I am not saying that market is weak or Bank Nifty is weak. It's just that I expect some expiry pressure to catch up with these stocks and some profit taking to come from higher levels.
Okay, well, I want to ask Ajay about auto ancillary stocks. You have Maruti in your list, but Ajay, we have only a minute for the pre-opening rates to come in.
Yeah, I think there are two auto ancillary stocks that we are recommending investors in the medium-term perspective. LG Balakrishna and Motherson Sumi. In Motherson Sumi, I think, we are expecting a very strong 18% CAGR in revenue growth for the current year and next financial year. A growth of around 18.5% in earnings this year, followed by a very stronger around 50% growth in earnings next financial year. And the stock has very strong ROE of around 33% projected for this year, 38% next financial year. LG Balakrishna, again, a South-based company, a large supplier to Bajaj Auto and HMSI. There again, I think they're expecting roughly 22% growth in both revenues and bottom line in the current and next financial year.
Wow, that's a 400% gain that it's already seen this year. And HMSI is still doing so well. You must expect LG Balakrishna to continue to have its order books full. But that's the pre-market, pre-opening rates coming in. Strong opening on the Nifty, but of course we'll take it with a pinch. The Sensex is way more sedate, but it is in the green. 0.04. Okay, it's still actually dilly-dallying. Still trying to make up its mind. Let's check out how the rupee opens. It closed at 61.28 on Wednesday. It's had a long trading holiday. It'll be interesting to see whether the rupee shows some strength, which it is likely to, going by the early morning green cues that you're getting from Asia. But let's wait and see. That's okay. It is about 5 pies stronger. No. Now it's 10 pies stronger. Sorry, 61.28 to 61.17. So the rupee opens about 11 pies stronger. That also would be an additional positive cue, perhaps for the Sensex and the Nifty. Well, Hemant, let's continue our conversation about various other stocks. Is there any specific banking stock that you would want to deal with at all?
See, specifically, I think still there is some more room left on the HDFC Bank side. I still feel that the stock has the potential to go up to 930, 940. Reasons, it's shown the highest rollover till now, and it's clearly suggesting more strength. And now let's not forget, after closing above 875, it's not actually breaching below 870 at all. So I think now the stock will show more strength, relatively more strength than even the other high beta private banks like ICICI Bank or Axis Bank. So I would definitely like to go long on HDFC Bank with a stop loss of 870 and a target of 935, 940 on the upside.
So, Ajay, same question to you, but from a fundamental angle, any of the financials that you would be interested in, NBFCs, PSU banks, smaller private sector banks, anything in the mid-cap space?
Yeah, I think Federal Bank is what our analyst likes in the mid-cap banking space. Although I must say that I think, the numbers of the PSU banks, and PNB numbers were out, were a tad disappointing. Where the private sector pack has sort of posted, be it Axis Bank, Federal Bank or HDFC Bank and even IndusInd Bank have posted numbers better than market expectations. So I would go with a Federal Bank in the mid-cap space with a medium-term perspective.
Okay. Just one final question then, Ajay. The one stock that almost everyone has recommended in as a top Diwali pick is United Spirits. What's your view on the stock? And for someone who's not yet gotten to United Spirits, do you think it's a lucrative buy?
I think we do not cover the stock, so it will be inappropriate on my part to comment.
Okay. All right, we'll leave it at that. Ajay Bodke, thank you very much for joining us with your picks. Hemant, just a couple of more stocks for you. Would you play anything at all in the auto space in the big caps, say Hero Moto or Maruti or Tata Motors?
See, the way the things are progressing, as I suggested, I really like auto space. So, the three you mentioned, except for Tata Motors, I would definitely like to go along Hero Motors, Maruti. In fact, I will choose Bajaj Auto more than Hero Motors currently, the way the rollovers are progressing. Maruti, I seriously feel that it's now heading towards that 3200 mark. So slowly and steadily it is moving up, it's showing strength, the rollover data is suggesting the same. Tata Motors on the other hand, I really feel that it will struggle around 520, 525 band on the higher side. So I would not be interested in buying Tata Motors. Ashok Leyland, as I already suggested, is a good trading pick also. But apart from that, in autos, Maruti and Bajaj Auto, the way the rollovers are shaping up, these two suggest loads more strength than the other counters currently.
All right, Hemant and Ajay, thanks for joining us and giving us all those ideas before the market opens today. It's a flat pre-opening, so hanging on to that 8,000 mark quite well, I must say. 8,026 in pre-opening, and the stocks to watch for, a couple of these names like IndusInd Bank, etc., higher, up almost about 2%. HUL ahead of its numbers is trading in the green. A couple of names like HCL Tech, ICICI Bank are also up about 1% or so. And on the downside, Wipro, after a 4% slide that we had on Muhurat Day, looks like there could be some more post the disappointing numbers that the company posted. So down about 2%. Reliance, interestingly, is down 4% in pre-opening, and JSPL too has been in the news for the wrong reason. So that stock is under pressure at this point. The rupee opening, as Lata was indicating to you earlier, 61.21. So it's largely a flat opening. We closed at 61.28 on Friday and 61.21. So a little bit of an appreciation is what you're seeing. But let's get our research team in now. Anuj is here with us to tell us about the stocks he's watching. Anuj, what were you looking at?
So Sonia, I was watching out for two mid-cap stocks, Tata Metaliks and Ashok Leyland. Tata Metaliks, because the kind of run that this stock has had over the last few days, it's really quite surprising, and it has momentum backing it, the kind of volumes that you had on Muhurat Day, very high volumes. So that's the stock to watch, up 60% this month. And the second stock I was watching out for was Ashok Leyland. That stock is close to lifetime highs. It's an FNO stock. A lot of build-up has been visible on this one, 16% higher this month. So that would be my second stock to watch.
Okay, actually among the stocks that are not doing too well is Wipro. Wipro saw a decent 4% cut, if I'm not mistaken, on Muhurat trading day itself after its numbers distinctly came in weaker than what the street expected. But I can see another 2% getting shaved off in early morning trades. As well, Tech Mahindra is keeping it company with a 1.6% downtick. What else is down at this point in time? DLF actually started with an uptick, but once again down, and I'm not surprised. There is news. In fact, why don't you take us through that?
Yes, in
DLF
fact,
will have some political bad vibes.
Yes, I don't expect that stock to move up from these levels at any point now, because there are reports suggesting that the new BJP government, remember, there is Manohar Lal Khattar, who has been assigned the new Chief Minister of Haryana. Now that government will probe heavily into the BJP, into the Vadra DLF deal. And not just that, the Haryana government has decided to probe into all the land scams currently. So there'll be quite a bit of skeletons out of the closet now. The Cabinet Minister Anil Vij has said that there will be a probe into the acquisition of 70,000 acres of land during the 10-year regime of Bhupinder Hooda. So DLF is down about 2.5% in pre-opening. But
Anuj, RIL, actually I think the market has shrugged off this PTA users complaint. Looks like it started with a downtick, but in a minute it's overtaken all that weakness.
Indeed, Lata, you know, this is as we've been saying, this is one claim and one counter claim. We don't know that. Plus the amount being discussed really is pretty paltry for a company like Reliance. So really, I don't expect the market would have too much nerves just based on this news.
Okay, then let's get to Ekta. Ekta, you're watching Ranbaxy because of some negative news?
Yes, Lata, well, reports indicate that Ranbaxy might lose its Nexium exclusivity, but this is not new news for Ranbaxy, so I don't know how much it would possibly react to it, considering that it might already be factored in. But the reports indicate that this is in case it fails to get regulatory clearance by the end of November. Remember that Ranbaxy